Hey, grade sevens. We're going to keep looking at opposite operation questions. And in this case, we're looking at a two-step operation or a two-step equation. Now, at the beginning of the year and in your elementary years, you used to remember that we had to do what was called the order of operations. And the order of operations told us the order in which we had to do certain operations. Okay, so be it brackets, exponents, you got your division and multiplication, and you're adding and subtracting. So you're always supposed to do whatever in the brackets first, then of course your exponents. Division and multiplication, we do that left to right, and addition and subtraction left to right. Okay. Now, with solving for the variable, in this case, we've got the letter P, okay, we're doing opposite operations. So it's going to look weird, but we're actually going to be doing the reverse order of BEDMAS, okay? So the first step in this case is to look at which one is the constant. And in this case, the constant is this add 2. So the first step that you're going to do is the opposite of add 2. So it's going to be subtract 2. If I did it to this side of the equal sign, I need to do it to this side of the equal sign. Okay, so what does that do? This eliminates this, which leaves me with that 4p. Okay, and what I did when I subtracted 2, I must also subtract here. So 10 subtract 2 is then becomes 8. So now we're back to a one-step problem, right? Now we just have to do the opposite operation. Again, we're working to get p, or the variable, all by itself. So now, as I said, working backwards, because we're doing opposite operations, our next step would be the division multiplication. So taking a look here, what's the opposite of 4p? We're multiplied by 4 is divide by 4. What I do to this side of the equal sign, I must do to this side of the equal sign. Again, this eliminates. We're left with just p, and 8 divided by 4 is 2. I just moved that stuff over there because we're going to do our check. Okay, so the check now, remember, is just that extra step that we're going to take to make sure that we've got the correct value for that variable. So we'll rewrite our equation. 4p add 2 equals 10. Okay, now we're going to replace the value of p with our value, which we thought and discovered was 2. So now we're going to see if our left side equals our right side. So 4 multiplied by 2 is 8, add 2 is 10. And does our left side equal the right side? Sure does, then we're good. Grade 7s, you could pause here and try out at a question of your own. I'll give you one right here. How about 5x 3 Okay, you can pause here and give that one a try, and or continue watching the next example. Look at another example here. So grade 7s, what you've noticed here between the first example and the last one is that you're looking at where the equal sign is, okay? And you might notice that it's sometimes on the right, sometimes on the left. What's going on? Grade 7s, it really doesn't matter, okay? All you're thinking about is that you're just trying to balance each side of the equal sign. You can think about it almost like a scale, right? Whether all the items are on this side or this side, it doesn't matter. All you're trying to do is to get them balanced, okay? So we're going to work with this, and again, we're still just doing the opposite operations. Now I'm going to go back here and just get my BEDMAS rules, just so we're remembering that in this case, we are going opposite to the BEDMAS rules, okay? Again, why? Because we're doing opposite operations. All right, so we're looking at the equation 7 equals 3r subtract 8. Again, the first step in this case is opposite. So we're working from the addition subtraction piece first. And in this case, we're going to do here. Okay, we're going to start with the constant. What is the opposite of subtract 8? Well, it's going to be add 8. What I do to this side of the equal sign, or my scale, I must do to this side of the equal sign. Oops. Okay, so the adding 8 here cancels. I'm left with just the 3r. Okay, and I'm just balancing my equation here. 7 add 8 is 15. Okay, and now I'm back down to a one-step equation. Okay, what is the opposite, or what's happening to the variable? It's being multiplied by 3. Again, we're working opposite. So that's going to be divide by 3. We want to get r all by itself. What we do to this side of the equal sign, we do over here. 15 divided by 3 is 5. Again, grade 7s, if you take a look, I'm always constantly lining everything up, and I'm keeping track of all my work. We're doing this because it's the best way in order to keep track of our thoughts. Okay, and then if we do make an error, we can always go back and try to fix it. So now I'm just going to replace and rewrite my equation with the found value of r. Okay, so 7 equals 3. We'll replace that value of r with 5, subtract 8, and we're doing this just to check our answer. Okay, so let's take a look. 3 multiplied by 5 is 15. Okay, and subtract 8. And you can think about it this way, is that when we're actually doing our check, now we are going in the right direction of the BEDMAS rules. Right? We're technically doing our multiplication before we're doing our subtracting. So let's take a look. 3 multiplied by 5, I did that already, is 15, and then take away 8, which is 7. And of course, my left side equals my right side, and therefore correct. You can go ahead and pause here and do another example, and I'll give you one here. Okay, you could pause here, as I said, or you could, and then just do this last problem here that I'll give you. Pause here and try to solve this one, and if not, you can move on to the next example. All right, here's the next example. Now, this one does get many people or many students confused, so don't worry, we'll take our time with that. Sorry, I'm just going to bring over the BEDMAS rules so we're remembering that we're going opposite. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look and see what the opposite operations here are. Okay, again, we're starting with our adding, subtracting. We're going opposite to our BEDMAS rules. Okay, so in this case, the opposite of add 3 is subtract 3. What I do to the left side, or one side of the equal sign, I must do to the other. Okay, so we've got this canceling out. I am then just left with the m over 8, okay, equals 9 subtract 3, which is 6. All right, so now we want to continue isolating the variable by doing the opposite operation. So what is the opposite of m being divided by 8? Well, it would be multiplying by 8. Okay, and again, what I do to this side of the equal sign, I got to do to this side of the equal sign. Okay, so this would cancel. I'd leave m all by itself. Okay, oops. And then we multiply, right? We've got 6 multiplied by 8. Okay, oops, hold on. 6 multiplied by 8 is 48. Okay, and then we're going to do, again, our check. Now, again, we do the check because we want to make sure we're on the right track. So we're going to replace this value of m into the equation. So we've got 48, which was the value of m, divided by 8, add 3, it should equal 9. So let's quickly try it out. 48 divided by 8. Again, now we're working this way with our BEDMAS rules. Okay, we're doing the division first. 48 divided by 8 is 6. Then we do the balance of the equation. 6 add 3 is 9. Equals 9. My left side equals my right side. I am good to go. I'll give you guys an example to try out, and we'll go from there. So how about x divided by 3, subtract 5 is equal to 10. Go ahead and try to solve for x. Again, grade 7s, if anybody's having any troubles, please reach out to your respective math teacher.